Okay, welcome again to the next video. As we said in the previous two videos, I said that since the Zimbabwean government has introduced gold coins as legal tender, I said it is the best idea ever. It is way above its own league. Richard Nixon took the US dollar out of the gold standard in 1971, and Emerson Mnangagwa in 2022 brought Zimbabwe into a gold standard, so to speak, even though I say that the gold is acting in a way as a second currency, because gold is a currency in itself. And we are discussed also, first of all, that because you can now own gold legally, gold is an inflation hedge, and the world is going through an inflation, hyperinflation around the world. Not hyper, actually, high inflation and the recession. So it will be very important for people to hedge that inflation risk by owning physical gold. And the Zimbabwean government is allowing people to do that. It means that the whole economy, the whole national economy, is going to be saved from this global recession. Probably might be global depression that is attacking the whole world. So Zimbabwe will be shielded by actually trading in gold coins instead of fiat currency. So we are actually getting out of fiat currency and going into a real currency, original currency, which is gold. And I said also that by extension we can add silver to it. We can also make silver coins as well, because silver can be standardized. And I am going to go further as well and speak about the standardization of other commodities, or monetization or of other assets as well. But before I go there, I want to also reiterate that it is what did I want to say? It is important that we do this thing, because it will attract foreign investment into our liquid market. What do I mean by this thing? I'm not saying it's gonna attract foreign people to come and build businesses in Zimbabwe, but I'm saying it will attract foreign money to come and buy the gold coins that we are going to legalize in Zimbabwe. So therefore the government, it should standardize a central place, or a central exchange, okay, a central exchange where there is this buying and selling of these gold coins, okay, where there's this thing. So the gold, where is the supply going to come from local supply, even from international supply as well. But the whole idea is to actually to be a center of excellence in the buying and selling and keeping of those gold coins. Also, one of the things that the government can do is actually to offer gold contracts. But I do not trust it, given our corrupt nature that we have. As I said in the previous video, we must not screw this thing up, because this is the only opportunity that Zimbabwe can rise. If anybody screws it up, please, we'll take them to jail. Okay, this is the best opportunity that I'm seeing. But I know that some people with crazy minds, they will screw it up. But I hope that God is going to kill whoever is going to screw this thing up. May they get gonorrhea. May they get gonorrhea even if they didn't have sex. May they get a terrible disease and die. Holy is the Lord. Don't play. We must succeed right now. This is an opportunity for the country to go forward. Now, if now we are allowing gold to be legal tender, people can keep it privately. All right. Now, for some people who might find keeping large sums of gold to be risky, then you can have an exchange traded fund. We can have an exchange whereby gold is kept on behalf of the people. Now I'm saying we do not need corrupt people who will actually give gold contracts of gold that does not even exist. To understand? Therefore, then you are actually screwing up the whole idea of bringing the country forward. You understand? So we need honesty as far as that is concerned. So now, so because of that, you will see that they will have a lot of inflow of money into the Zimbabwean economy. How will they? Why is it that so? Because around the world, the investors are going to be looking for an inflation hedge, and that inflation hedge is physical gold. Physical gold will be more attractive than paper gold. Okay, so instead of buying paper gold, there will be a lot of money that is going to be directed to the Zimbabwean gold, because the Zimbabwean government has allowed this physical gold to be owned by people. Therefore, now the Zimbabwean government can actually buy gold from outside the country, even physical gold from other people, and actually bring it to this platform where it can be traded. So foreigners can open accounts in Zimbabwe where they can buy physical gold. As I'm saying that they might not want that delivery of gold to their countries. Maybe they're not even allowed. Maybe there's restrictions on ownership of physical gold in their countries. But not all countries have got the same laws as far as this is concerned. So there's an opportunity there for Zimbabwe, therefore, to actually begin to hold that, to keep that gold on behalf of our international clients. Now, what are we benefiting as an economy? That injection of foreign currency, that paper currency that comes into the country to own an asset that is going to be kept within the country. There is going to be an increase of money supply in the system. Therefore, it actually helps the economy to grow. It helps our bank. It becomes as a lubricator to industries, to people that are producing stuff, so that we can produce goods and services. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, an economy that grows is an economy that produces goods and services that are going to be consumed within the local economy and also to be exported, so that so that we can get the gains from foreign markets. Do you understand? So this can help to act as an impetus to the growth of the Zimbabwean economy. To understand? So that is why I'm saying that I do not want people who are going to screw this thing up. Make sure that you do it right. Okay, Mr. Mankucha, Mr. What's his name? This is a brilliant idea, but we have to execute it right. And I'm so happy that we have got the African bank governor, Adenisa, Mr. Adenisa, the Nigerian Adenisa. He refused to become the Nigerian president and opted to be the president of the African Development Bank instead, which I think is actually a good decision for him to make. We need people like him, people of high caliber, men of high integrity. Because if you are the president of the African Development Bank, you are just as good as the president of Africa, because the African growth is gonna come from a bank. It's gonna come from the banking sector, which is the African Development Bank. So I thought of it as a good thing when I saw him on TV with Mthuli Ncube in Harare, and he's going to help Zimbabwe to restructure debt or something like that. And therefore, if you are going to be implementing these things, it is good to implement alongside people like Mr. Adanisa in the African Development Bank. And that those gold coins that Zimbabweans can keep, my mind is not circled on whether Zimbabweans must keep them in a gold bank or not, because owing to our nature, our minds, our corrupt Zimbabwean, corrupt, ugly minds, oh God Almighty, they will steal people's gold. People will deposit their gold, and then they will steal that gold. That is the problem that I have. However, it will if we really have to get away with that kind of corruption, those kind of thieves. You know what? If ZANU-PF wants to save his skin, if anybody steals someone's gold, arrest them, hang them. If it's possible, bring back the capital law and held them and kill them, so that they know that we do not play. Because this is the only opportunity that we have now to take the country forward. Now, here's the thing. The final pitch now comes to the point where I have to tell you that, first of all, I said that it will bring in foreign investors. The foreign investors bring the liquid cash that we need to propel the rest of the economy. So now, another thing is, because we have started with gold, you can extend it to silver, okay, and even beyond that, to commodities. So I will explain the commodities part, how the commodities part will work. Here is the thing. When you produce commodities like sugar, wheat, soya, coffee, cocoa, whatever it is, we keep them in the grain marketing board, right? Silos or wherever. These are, to some extent, some of them can be standardized, some not so, but I believe some of them can be graded. So they can be traded nonetheless. You can have a commodities exchange. So I think that from there, Mr. John Mankoch, Mr. Ngobe, we need to move now to look into commodity exchanges. The government should establish commodity exchanges, wheat commodity exchanges, coffee, maize, sun oil, sunflower. I do not know, something like that. Why do I say so? Because you must understand that when we say that gold is a currency, fundamentally, why gold? Why gold exclusively? Okay, there's this traditional answer that it is malleable. It can stay on for thousands of years, but but basically, it's the fact that you are buying a commodity that can be kept somewhere as a store of value. Okay, so when you are establishing these commodity exchanges, the whole idea is for you to give people an opportunity or a conduit where they can keep where they can store the value of their wealth. You understand? So instead of having cash, somebody can diversify their investments. They can keep it as physical gold, but as Warren Buffett always say, gold doesn't have a profit. Okay, some people can buy silver. As I said, we must extend it to silver, and then as we now, by extension, government establishing these commodity exchanges, some people can store their wealth in commodities by buying commodity futures, futures contracts. Okay, whether they are futures contracts, which means that they will need to be delivered, or they are just commodities contracts, commodities that are actually kept in the grain marketing board or wherever. And the reason why people will buy these things primarily is not because they want to eat the grain. No, it's for store of value, or also for speculative reasons. For those who want to speculate, it's their choice. Let them do it for speculative reasons. But also for the people with a high amount of money, it will be for the sake of keeping value. For understand, instead of putting money in the bank, because we're saying that inflation is going to be problematic. So this is gonna help as an inflation hedge. So in that way, what is gonna happen is that it will help the Zimbabweans that have got a lot of money. Because I do know and I do realize that in this country, in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of people that have got billions of dollars that are kept in safe havens, okay, around the world, so-called safe havens. My inclination is that those safe havens are not as safe as you think. Okay, those safe havens are not as safe as you think. Why do I say so? Because in a global war, as we are inching closer and closer to World War III, actually we are. Someone can say that we are already in World War III. It's just that it's not World War III is not always about bullets, but we know that we're always at war one way or the other. So a financial war is another war, and it is necessary for these Zimbabweans. Most of them are ZANU-PF or ZANU-PF connected, who have made a lot of money in Zimbabwe, millions, but they have invested their money in offshore accounts, thinking that they are safe. I think that they are not as safe as you think. I think that some of the countries that so-called safe havens, they can buckle under American pressure during war to give up the names of the people in the bank accounts of despot countries. That's how they're gonna frame it. Countries where there is despots, countries where there is dictators. That is how they are going to frame it. Okay, and then they are able to say, let us freeze their accounts. So we are crying about American sanctions and your frozen monies in USA and Europe. Wait until they go to the Maldives, they go to Panama, they go to all those other countries that are small, that are safe havens, and begin to pressure them into freezing the assets of African countries. That would be a weapon, a financial weapon against countries that are promising to grow. So Zimbabweans have foolishly made millions in Zimbabwe, and then what next do they do? They go and bank in Western countries. And even if they're not going to Western countries, they'll go to these other semi-Western countries like Singapore, Panama. You think that those countries, they're not USA, they're not UK, Europe, they've got their own private district, they've got their own sovereign jurisdiction. But you have got to understand in the geopolitics, they can easily be influenced by the Americans. If enough pressure is given on them and there's enough appetite and reason for the Americans to attack you, they will actually have those countries hand over your banking details, and all you people who in ZANU-PF friends, Zimbabweans, whatever, who have got billions. I know that Robert Mugabe said $15 billion is not accounted for in the mining sector a few years ago, and obviously the number is larger than that over the past 1980 until now. I'm talking about the looted monies. I don't want to use the word loot. I want to say that it's the money that you made through whichever ways, and you're the ones who became the winner in that race of resources in Zimbabwe. But the problem, the mistake that you made is that you kept your money outside the country thinking that it's going to be safe. I think that in the future, that money will not be as safe as you think it will be safe. Therefore, the idea is for you to bring it back to the country. Okay, this is the end of part 1. Let's go now to part 2. Part 2 of what this one is about. I think I'm going to conclude after this. When you bring the money in the country, I will tell you the reasons why you took the money out of the country. First of all, it's because you were agitated. You were naive. You were full of, you're paranoid. Okay, you are not certain about the political future of Zimbabwe. I'm not talking to people in ZANU-PF and ZANU-PF friends and people that made millions and billions throughout the last 30 years. I'm giving you advice. This is like friendly advice. It's not an attack. It's not whatever. It's actually what you need to hear. Is what you would want. It's an advice that you would need. Okay, it's not like yep against you. So what's gonna happen is this thing. The reason why you took the money outside Zimbabwe is because you are not certain on the political arrangements in Zimbabwe. Because as ZANU-PF, you have failed or you are struggling to stabilize the politics of the country. Therefore, because the political stage is not stable, so therefore when you make money, you cannot keep your money in a Zimbabwean bank. You want to keep it in a foreign country so that you know that when things go bad in Zimbabwe, you are going to go out of the country and enjoy your money there. But my assessment is that you might not be that lucky. In the future, the Americans, the Europeans, they're very clever. They're super clever. It's really high time you people that listening to me start calling me, start engaging me, and I will prophesy to you and I will help you. But then, anyway, pride is always before a downfall. But I don't want you to fall. So I'll give you a positive ideas. Now, I am telling you that the attacks of your enemy knows all the money that ZANU-PF people made in Zimbabwe and they put outside the country. The enemy knows exactly where that money is. Don't think that they do not know. These guys are very intelligent. That's why the Holy Spirit, that Jesus was angry at the Zimbabwean intelligence, said that you're not even intelligence. You don't even know what intelligence is all about. Those guys are super intelligent than you. They know how much money you have in what bank account, wherever. So they're just waiting for the time. So I do understand. I want to diagnose your problem and say that I do understand that because of political instability, okay, because Zimbabwe is not politically stable, because you have struggled to stabilize the country politically. I can help you with stabilizing the country politically, but you don't want to listen to me because I'm Ndebele. I'm wise. God gave me great wisdom. Understand? You need to accept that and use it. By the way, a country's resources is not the gold and diamonds on the ground, but the country's resources is the mind of the people in that country. So if you're looking at this head, you can see this head on TV. This head, this is a resource, Mr. Mnangagwa. This is worth more than gold and diamond. Okay, so you actually get to work with your own people. Your own people. That is the reason now you have to sort the political stability in the country, because you need to mine the resources, which is the minds of the people in your country. Says Zimbabwean leaders, I'm talking to you. You need the mind of the people that are in your country. The mind itself is a mine. Forget the gold, the silver, the diamonds, the chrome, and whatever. The ideas of your people in your country, that is a minefield. Just like I'm talking to you now, this is like an extraction of free gold. God is giving you free gold right now through me. So you must recognize that, and because that is the issue, you need to stabilize the politics. I'm not touching the economics now. Talking about the politics, you need to stabilize the politics in the country. Okay, I've made many videos about political stabilization, how to do that in this nation, and now I'm adding flesh to it and having you to understand that the reason why you took the money out is because the country is not politically stable. So you think that those havens are safe. They are marketed to you as safe havens, but I'm telling you that they won't be safe in the future. Okay, and when your foreign nest has been frozen, you will be totally broke, because we don't have any money in Zimbabwe. Because we know of planes in Zimbabwe. The people say about plane that lives with gold, with money every day. Money is leaving the country, and that money belongs to private individuals. And you think that you have got jurisdiction outside Zimbabwe? You do not have it. The powers that be, the people that run the world, have got powers outside Zimbabwe, even in countries that may look like they are not American, whatever. But I'm telling you that when America wants to tell Panama that Emerson Mnangagwa's 30 billion must be frozen, let me tell you, Panama will listen to USA. Whether it is some island somewhere that the ex-French colony or whatever country it is that we keep your money, I don't care what country it is. When USA say there's ZANU-PF money there, and USA tells that country that freeze, and then you in ZANU-PF will say, no, don't freeze, that country will listen to USA and not to Zimbabwe. So do not think that your money is safe outside the country. As I'm telling you, this is actually friendly advice. I mean, you might ridicule me as much as you want and do as you please, but when the time comes, when we think that sanctions are only freezing assets in USA and Europe, you'll be surprised that the sanctions can be extended to other places that you thought were safe. And the reason why they haven't been extended now is because of the nature of the war right now. The war is not yet at that place where now they have to do it. So now, these two things that are outside the country. First, it is fiat currency that is banked outside the country. You must bring back. Number two, it is physical gold and physical assets that you have banked outside the country. You must bring them back, because if you don't do that, they will be frozen there. As the world goes into an economic crunch, governments will look for even much or more deprived ways of fighting other governments. So the people in the Zimbabwean government are actually not safe in the globe, in the whole earth itself. When you take your money outside Zimbabwe, I don't know. You have got this trust. I feel it in my spirit. And like the Lord is showing me that you have got this trust for these other countries. And like God is showing me that you people in ZANU-PF, you trust these other countries. You think that they are your friends. But God is showing me that in a time of war, They won't be your friends. Okay, these are times of relative peace. In times of intense war or deepened levels of war and weapons of war are used. I mean, even your financial balances can be weaponized such that your so-called externalized funds can be used against you. They can be frozen using whatever international law apparatus can just be conscried out of the minds of clever people in Washington. Holy is the Lord. Are you listening? Are you listening or you calling or call home? Stand up here. Don't say I never loved you. On Judgment Day, don't say that I never helped you. Don't say that God never sent a prophet to help you. I mean, because these are just gems. God is just like opening up his chest and giving you advice, good advice, that if you take, you will be safe. But if you are arrogant and do not take because Tim Terry and you, and I don't know, kana mune pfungwa izvodzo kana mune nharo izvodzo ndizvo nharo zvacho zvichaita kuti musokole too much. You understand? Yet if you listen and obey and do the right thing, Zimbabwe will be blessed. And I do believe that the repatriation of externalized funds is going to help the economy. So now, Mr. Mthule Mngcobo, this repatriation, you are not you shouldn't force people, okay? Understand? You shouldn't force people. You should creating that environment. As I'm telling you, the fact that you have now introduced these gold coins, it is actually a good initiative. It is actually creating this fundamental dynamic whereby taking your money from the Maldives. I don't know where you people keep your money from in those countries. Because I remember when I was in Zimbabwe, there were people that were making money by externalizing people's monies. Okay, so when you bring back those monies and then you buy this physical gold in Zimbabwe and silver, and I'm saying by extension, the Zimbabwean government now must establish a commodity exchange. Okay, even the commodities that we don't even produce in Zimbabwe, we can actually be an exchange that keeps them. Coffee, we don't even sell coffee. We don't produce much coffee in Zimbabwe, do we? I don't think we do. But we can actually buy coffee and keep coffee and have a coffee exchange in the country. Why? As I said, it's going to help with the liquidity of the economy. It will liquidize our economy, and even, I mean, the fractional reserve banking will actually liquidize our economy even more. So that will lead to the real production of goods and services, because at the end of the day, what you want to achieve really is the actual production of goods, okay, and to some extent services as well. So as I'm saying that when we have all of that, we'll have that repatriation by Zimbabweans. On the sake of the Zimbabweans, it's for the sake of safety really, and then on the sake of other foreign investors, is for their sake to have a country where they can have this financial service of keeping their money. Inadvertently, Zimbabwe becomes a safe haven itself. It becomes an attractive destination for foreign currency for the sake of safe haven. That safe haven of actually having to buy gold, buy silver coins, buy commodities and buy commodity contracts in Zimbabwe. So an injection of foreign currency. Now, not only do we have gold in your economy, circulating in economy, but you also get foreign currency itself through foreigners coming to invest in this scheme that we have, and the repatriation of the Zimbabwean money coming back into the country, and that will lead to the success and the impetus, the growth in the country will be amazing. Because if there is if the economy is flooded with money, then you can have that money going into many other investments. You understand? So when you get this thing right, I'm telling you, now I'm giving you a lifeline. I think I'm having a hope for you. Please call me. If you're telling me, call me. If you work in the finance ministry, call me. If you work in the reserve bank, call me. If you're an economist, call me. I'll leave my number below. call me, let us talk about this thing, because to me this is special. I think to me this is this is an opportunity for Zimbabwe, and we must not screw it up. Please, I beg you all. I beg you all. You guys have screwed up many things, but this one, please do not screw it up, because I am seeing an opportunity in the desert. Okay, I am seeing an opportunity in the midst of a storm. If there is a global financial storm, I am seeing an opportunity. So that is why I say call me, because I need to engage with like-minded people that are in economics. So I'm free spirited. I don't have an idea to hide. This is for nation building. Okay, nobody has got the ownership of ideas. Like I'm owning ideas for me to make money for me. No, 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 no. My mind is very liberal. We can talk about these things, and if you're an economist, I can help contributing in the writing of your white papers. I don't know how to write a white paper, whatever color it is, but these are the things that we should be engaging ourselves on. All right. So yeah, we'll make another video later. Then I will see the other stuff that I missed, that I did not put in the video. And yeah. Also, give me feedback so that I can also know which direction we can be talking about. Okay, thank you very much. My name is Novani Zodo. Thank you for watching the Real Zodo Commission. Please like, subscribe, and share, especially in the fraternity of banking, finance, and economics. And throw a comment and let us get engaged in building our country, taking it to a much higher levels of growth. Amen.